What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like, share and the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to see more content like this. What do we have today? We've got an article from Bounding into Comics, which is a really good website if you want to have all the latest up-to-date news, views, reviews, controversy. This is something that interests me. I hope it interests you. It's about the character Judge Dredd from the UK British comic book 2000 AD. And we've already seen a couple of iterations of Dredd on the big screen.
This is Judge Dredd.
1995 we had Sly Stallone doing it.
I am the law!
And then in 2012 we had Karl Urban.
Mama is not the law. I am the law.
Which has turned out to be one of my favourite films. It's steadily grown, I think, probably cult status over the years. Didn't do very well at the box office originally. It only made, I think it cost about $40 million to make, and it just about clawed back that money. Worldwide box office, and then later on DVD sales topped it up slightly with about another 27 million. So it didn't do greatly at the box office. However, on the grapevine, apparently there are a lot of people clamouring for another instalment with Mr. Karl Urban himself reprising the role of the titular character. So where is the new Dredd movie? It's been 11 years since the last one. Why has there not been a sequel? There have been rumours of a TV show in the past, but nothing has transpired thus far. So what we have here is an interview with the Rebellion CEO. Rebellion is apparently a huge UK based video games producer, developer. I think it owns the rights to everything Dredd as far as being on the screen, TV, movies and games. So he's going to explain why Dredd sequel progress is slow. As I said, it's taken 11 years up to now. Still no sign. But he promises we are making progress. So the Rebellion CEO, namely Jason Kingsley, has recently explained why it's taken so long for the company to get a sequel to the cult classic film Dredd, starring Karl Urban, getting it up and running. So we spoke with Sports Illustrated in August. Kingsley told the outlet, "I've been working for years on trying to find the right business partner for that. As for why it's taken so long to get the deal done and get to work," Kingsley explained, "we've had conversations with all the big players. Conversations are still ongoing, but the terms that we're being asked for, we can't support. They're not how we want to work." Doesn't say what those terms are, unfortunately, so we can't really get to the bottom of what he said there. Nevertheless, Kingsley was optimistic. "We're getting there, we're making progress, but it's slow. So yes, I want to get some more of it done. Obviously, I want to do cool stuff. There's nothing to announce yet." Which is not what we wanted to hear. I've been looking for updates for the past couple of years on this subject. I've been going to make numerous videos on the subject, but I've never found anything to get my teeth into. But I just decided today to do this video just to see if I could shed some light on the situation for some of the fans out there that actually do want to see Dredd return to the big screen, or even the small screen, even if like the likes of Netflix or Prime picked it up. But we had somebody like Alex Garland who wrote the original. There was a lot of controversy surrounding it, actually, because the director, I put it in air quotes, Pete Travis, that supposedly directed the original, well, let's call it the original, the 2012 Dredd, had all sorts of arguments with producers over the direction that he was taking the movie. So they basically kicked him out of the editing room and put Alex Garland in charge to oversee the edit and make the film that we've got today. So why not put him in charge? Why not give him? Because I'm sure he's directed. I think he wrote and directed Ex Machina and Annihilation for Netflix. He's done all sorts. Alex Garland he's worked a lot with Danny Boyle. He did 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later. Apparently he's finished the script for 28 months later, so that remains to be seen. He wrote The Beach, he wrote Sunshine. So in terms of writing, I think he's got the chops. Get him drafted back in. And Karl Urban's not really up to much lately. I'll show you that in a bit. He has been slightly busy over the last few months. He's been doing the likes of The Boys, etc. The only things on his IMDb page that he's got coming up are a rumoured Star Trek 4 that's probably never going to happen, and a couple of other things, a couple of animation things that he's done. I think he did a Batman animated voiceover and a couple of other animations. But as far as him being too busy to get him to reprise the role, no, I don't think that'll stick. Moving on anyway, Kingsley later elaborated on what is specifically holding up a potential sequel. "One of the things I think sometimes the general public doesn't understand is how much work goes on behind the scenes. how many false starts and how many hours you spend negotiating with somebody till you reach a point where you actually can't conclude a deal. You can't agree because it just wouldn't work out for the legacy that is the archive of material we've got. We're not going to sell Judge Dredd to people basically, and people want to buy it. That's what it comes down to. I'm afraid that won't work for us. No, we're the guardians of this IP, he explained. I don't really understand what he's on about there, do you? I'm gonna reiterate. You can't agree because it just wouldn't work for the legacy that is the archive of material we've got. We're not going to sell Judge Dredd to people basically, and people want to buy it. Well, you are, because that's how it works. But it's the other way around, because people do want to buy it. So why don't you sell it to us? I mean, he's only been around since 1977, and we've only wanted a sequel for 11 years. So if that's not enough time to gather troops and ammo in order to get either a TV show or at very least a decent movie underway, then I don't know what is. I know it takes a lot. There's a lot of pre-production and there's a lot of planning and a lot of things that producers have to do. You've got to get investors and money together and convince people, but like, come on, 11 years.
There's a lot of processes to go through. Making a TV show is not simple.
People are chomping at the bit for this particular IP. I can guarantee it.
I want more.
The downside, of course, to filmmaking is in this next part. The Dredd film only grossed $13.4 million at the domestic box office.
Are you serious?
It got another $28 million for a global gross of $41.4 million. The budget was $45 million, meaning the film lost a significant amount of money. So it lost about $4 or $5 million. So yeah, it would have lost a fair bit. Once you add the advertising costs on top of that, it would have lost a fair bit of money, but it's probably raked that back in DVD and Blu-ray sales. It's out on 4K now, so there's more money generated over the past 11 years. But the only thing you can find on the finances of this movie and how much it clawed back only goes up to 2013 DVD sales. So that's what you can see on the screen there. Blu-ray brought in 10.1 million and it got a total of 21.9 if you add in the DVD sales. So there's 60 or 70 million it's made. I know it's not a great deal, but I think with the right team in place and the right amount, I don't think it was even heavily advertised when it came out in 2012. I didn't even know about it until it was on DVD. I had no idea it existed. I would have gone to the cinema to see this, 100%. I can't remember anything about this being advertised anywhere. What this also says is that Rebellion was developing a Judge Dredd TV series, and its title was Judge Dredd Megacity 1. That was back in 2018. The company had even purchased a new warehouse that they planned to convert into a studio space for the series. Urban was in discussions to reprise the role of Judge Dredd in the series. During an appearance at a Star Trek convention in 2017, he said, "I am in discussion with them about that. I told them if they write the material and give Dredd something to do and give him a function, I'll be there. I would love to." So there you go. He's fully on board. I know he's fully on board. I've seen a few interviews and articles where he said exactly that. He'd be there straight away. And if his agent wasn't the one to say, look, Dredd's on the table, do you want to do Dredd, or do you want to do this other low budget TV movie, or do you want to do this series, or do you want to do this animated TV show, I think he would jump at the chance to do Dredd again. The series producer Brian Jenkins even commented on having Urban return as Dredd. "We've had many conversations prior to this about all sorts of things. He's also very busy, a full-time professional actor. So we're going to have some long and complicated conversations, I would imagine, and we'll see where we go." Having said that, right, I don't know when this conversation took place or how busy he was. And I know we've had the virus halting all sorts of things. However, if you look on Karl Urban's IMDb page, right, there's the stuff he's done. He's done The Boys. Okay, he did 24 episodes of The Boys. Fair enough. That is going to take up a lot of time from 2019 to 2022, so he's not going to be available there. He's done an animation called The Sea Beast. He did Batman Death in the Family, another DC animated movie. Did a short film. He was in The Rise of Skywalker as an uncredited stormtrooper. He did a short movie there for DC. Beyond Suspicion in 2018. Hangman, Acts of Vengeance. Thor Ragnarok 2017. So he's been slightly busy. But even that's only 2 or 3 months out of the year for each year that he's done that. And then what he's got up and coming, The Boys TV season. I don't know if there's going to be another. Is there going to be another Boys season 4? I've no idea. Untitled Star Trek Beyond sequel, pre-production apparently. It's only got a rumoured beside it. I Object, whatever that is, that's in pre-production. Mortal Kombat 2 is in pre-production, and Ark, the animated TV series, is in pre-production. So they're not even into the production. Get your skates on. Get your skates on, Rebellion. Because we want to see another Dredd, but what we want to see, what I personally want to see, is Megacity 1 done properly. I think the 1995 Sylvester Stallone version got it right as far as Megacity 1's concerned, with the block wars and the judges running about. It just looked right. But Dredd, the movie, the 2012 version, just looked sparse. It didn't look like Megacity 1. It just looked like a rundown city in New York. It just looked like a modern day thing, and this is set in the future, albeit the near future. But he goes on to say that it's too early to tell yet. If we can use him, speaking about Karl Urban, and he's available to us, then I think that would be absolutely brilliant. There's always possibility he will be busy or that his schedule for other movies won't allow. Basically, we don't know at this stage. Get on the phone, Karl, and get your agent to get in touch with Rebellion and book your slot for this movie immediately. That series in question was eventually put on hold due to that horrible virus thing that we had back in 2020. Kingsley explained to Radio Times back in 2020, I want there to be a sequel to the 2012 Dredd. We've got the rights back, so we can do it. We've just got to get rid of this virus thing that's going on at the moment, and then hopefully things can kick off in all sorts of different areas of making film and TV. It's just all very messed up at the moment for everybody, which it kind of was. He says that there's been a lot of work done on all sorts of different scripts. So Megacity 1, the TV show, basically we can't go into production because of the virus. We've got scripts and everything is ready to go, but the problem is because of this virus. Everybody's funding changes and everybody's shifting around. So this is him talking back in 2020. So they've actually got scripts ready to go. Everything was in place. But that horrible virus put a spanner in the works for everybody apparently. So just get back on the horse, Mr. Kingsley, and get in touch with Mr. Urban. And let's see some Dredd, I Am the Law, Megacity 1 action. Get Olivia Thirlby back as Judge Anderson. She was amazing. I remember I bought my first ever 2000 AD comic back in 1977. Dredd apparently didn't appear until episode 2, or until issue 2 rather, because there was a bit of controversy going on there with the way that he came into being. John Wagner, the writer, and Carlos Esquerra, the artist, got together to create this character. I mean, there was a lot of toing and froing and different artists thrown into the melting pot, as you like, to bring him. There was so much going on at the time with people jumping ship to different companies, different comic companies like Valiant and I think Battle Picture Weekly, that they didn't get Dredd designed and kind of signed off because the early iterations of Dredd were just apparently too violent for comic books for kids. So they had to go back to the drawing board. That they got other artists in, and there was a whole lot of controversy apparently. So he arrived in issue 2. Apparently he was designed around a character from a movie back in the day called Death Race 2000. Raymond, you remember this? I think we used to play this in the street. David Carradine's character, the guy that you see on the poster, that's what John Wagner showed to his friend Carlos Esquerra. He says that's what I'd like, something like that. Base the character around this look. And eventually we got Judge Dredd. But if you need an expert in everything Dredd, I think Ray, my friend, I used to get the 2000 AD comics up into the 1980s. I think he collected them up into the 1990s. So if you need an expert, look up my friend Ray. Shout out to you, sir. So yes, that's an up-to-date report on Judge Dredd. If anybody's interested, I'm interested. I'd like to see it get made, please. Mr. Kingsley, Mr. Urban, and everyone else involved, get on the case. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. As ever, thanks for watching if you watched so far, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.